These are all the plants that I am keeping alive and keeping going by a grow light in my small home office in my 1,100 square foot apartment that I'm going to plant within the next 2 or 3 weeks in a container garden on our front deck that is 6 foot by 6 foot. Tonight I'm going to be starting the seeds in a seed starter kit, and that was 3 weeks ago now, and this is 3 weeks into the future. Green beans, cucumbers, I've got some rosemary, I've got lettuce, I've got spinach, Amish paste tomatoes, kale. Those are the things that I'm starting from seed, and 3 weeks into the future, as you can see, they're thriving. I've got 2 Cherokee Purple tomato plants from Home Depot. Home Depot was really low in stock when I was there the other day. Some English thyme, 2 rosemary plants. Of course, this is my plants in my IKEA. I can show you closer up pictures of ferns, cacti, some succulents. I've got some beautiful orchids. And then I've got a Mandevilla plant, a large, about 2 foot tall, pink Mandevilla. So got a lot of things that are ready for the container garden, and I've got about 3 weeks to go to grow them up and then harden them off on my 6 foot by 6 foot patio garden. Okay, it's time for us to get our seeds ready. We're a little bit behind. I think that there's a lot of people like with greenhouses and stuff like that probably already got a pretty good head start here in Wisconsin. I know they started maybe 2 weeks ago, but we don't have a greenhouse, and we have really pretty poor lighting. And when and if the seeds come up, because I've never really done this before, I've always bought really little plants from a nursery. You know, sometimes just their little seedlings even. But I've never actually grown seedlings myself and planted them up in some bigger containers and then hardened them off and started my own plants with them. The reason I decided this year was, you can't really say expense-wise, because the seeds that I purchased were pretty expensive. Now, obviously, seeds will get you more plants. Hopefully, everything turns out all right. Whereas when you go and buy a $4 or $5 plant, you have just that one plant. So I'm ahead that way. But again, I just have no experience in it. I decided for expense sake, and also because the last 3 years I haven't been able to find any Amish paste seeds or Amish paste plants. Actually, I take that back, the last 2 years. And when I went and looked through my seeds the other day, I had a packet of Amish paste because I was almost not going to do this. I thought, why go to the trouble of all this dirt? And I don't have good light. And we have varying temperatures in this apartment. And I'm just not really sure how to do it. I'm not confident. And I don't know anybody that is doing it in real life. And I'm not really friends with too many gardeners. So, just the people that I know online that are doing it. So, I'm going to give it a shot, and we're going to see what we get. At the worst, I have a few seeds that didn't take and some soil lost. At best, I've got some plants of my own that I can plant up in larger containers and then harden off and then plant in their basically permanent for the season containers and grow food from. So that's what I'm hoping for. So I'm going to put it in a video. Some things may not look perfect because, like I said, I'm just learning. I've watched a video, seen how other people have done this, and I think they're doing it right. I hope I'm doing it similar to how they're doing it. And when I put the seeds in, I'm going to mark it with my popsicle sticks and popsicles that I've been eating in the last week. And then I'm going to cover it with cling wrap, is what I've seen. And I'm going to put it in my home office And to try to help germinate them, I'm gonna make sure this is nice and wet now before I even put the seed in. And then I'm gonna put the seed in, and then I'm gonna cover it with cling wrap, and I'm gonna put it in a warm, sunny spot in my home office on my desk. And we're gonna wait to see the little plants hopefully come through. And when they come through, I'm gonna remove the cling wrap at that point. Okay, it might be hard to see, but that is my tray. So each little cell is packed full with soil, and all of it has been sprayed down with water. We're going to just let that soak in, and then I'm going to show you the seed packets that I'm going to use to plant my little garden here. Okay, I'm going to plant Cherokee Purple tomato, some lettuce, some rosemary, some spinach, some bib lettuce. This is some long-standing spinach. This is a seed packet I need to use up, so we're going to see. Just bought this tonight at Walmart. This is USDA organic, back to the roots kale, heirloom. It was $2 something, so way more, less expensive than, or way cheaper. I don't like to say the word cheaper, but more affordable than the other seed packets there. Back to the roots. Never heard of that company. We're going to try that. Kale. My husband is going to grow some bush green beans. Here's that packet of Seed Savers exchanged Amish Paste. Another one that needs to be used up. Seed Savers America Spinach. We went to Seed Savers, that's why I have these packets. So they need to be tried out. And this one's from a couple years ago. Let's see if it actually works. Bought this in 2021. So I guess it's about a year and a half. Mediterranean garden mix. It has a Roma tomato, some basil, and cucumber. So that is what I'm going to be planting. Alright, and here is my seed tray. Sorry if it seems to be blurry. It's the plastic. So we got the plastic cover instead of the cling wrap because of the popsicle sticks. And then down here is a black bottom to it, so the seed plugs hit this part, and I'll be able to fill this or put water in there, and it'll touch just the bottom of the seed plugs and of course water them. I don't know if I've ever had that before or ever figured that out before, but I figured it out today. So let's hope that they propagate. I'm going to spray them again tomorrow, and thereon after as many times as the instructions say. So I've got 3 plugs of cucumbers, and then 5 or 6 of the Roma tomatoes, and then the basil, I think I've got 3 plugs of that, and that came in that seed or salad kit. And then in this row, I believe, let's see, spinach. So 2 rows of spinach. And I put in 3 rows, 1, 2, 3 of the Amish Paste. And then I put in 1 row of just regular lettuce, 1 row of bib lettuce, 1 row of rosemary, another type of spinach that I'm trying to use up, and the last row is my husband's green beans. So 5 or 6, let's see, 6 plugs of that. So I should have a good amount of lettuce, which is what we want, a good amount of spinach. I think the spinach that I said I was going to use up, I think that's kale. So we've got my husband's green beans, kale, rosemary, 3 of the lettuce, 1, 2, or 2.5 of the lettuce, 2.5 of the paste, and then I've got some spinach, that salad kit, and some Roma. And I did a lot of the Roma where I only did 3 plugs of the cucumbers and 3 plugs of the basil from that salad kit. So we'll see how that all works out. We hope that they propagate. I hope I get some little starter plants out of those. I have some cups to plant them up in so that they can grow even stronger roots. And then when they're at that point, I'm told to try to harden them off, and then you can, at that point, either you can replant them to their permanent container, or you can harden them off and then plant them to their permanent container. So that's what I'm hoping, that we can at least get some propagation and be able to identify some plants. Okay, I'm about to plant up or up pot my cucumber starts. Now, I've seen a lot of people that just do it right in the ground. They just put the cucumber seed right in the ground when it's time, when last frost, pre-last frost, whatever, and up comes the first leaves of the cucumber, and then which aren't, I don't know if they're the permanent leaves, but you'll know when you see the permanent leaves, and I'll give you an idea of that if we get along that far. Or you can Google how to start cucumber plants, or how to grow cucumbers by seed or from seed. There isn't a lot out there on the internet where I look to see where I could take it from the little tiny starter that is right now into a bigger pot, because it no longer fits in the starter tray. I found very little information from that point. Most people were just planting them in the larger pots to begin with, and or the ground. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. Alright, here's my cucumber plant from the tray. It's still kind of in its plug, and I'm going to put that in this pot. Okay, and I'm going to leave the other one attached too, because I don't want to take the one off just yet in case this one dies. So it's going to go in that pot, and then we have one more. And I had one cell that didn't produce anything, so I'm going to do the same with that, 2 and 2. And I'm going to plant them down and see. Right now is, it's these 2 leaves, and then soon there'll be like a fringe leaf that will come up in the middle. And that will be the one that you'll recognize more. Otherwise, like I said, unless I can insert a clip here, what it would look like. This is where, as far as it got in this tray. And as you can see, I've got a lot of trimming or thinning out here to do. So far we have 2 whole rows of lettuce that did not come up, so I'm going to have to reseed that. And here they are, put into bigger pots. So I guess we're going to see. Try to get both of the starts to thrive. And we'll see if we get a permanent leaf, and we'll go from there. And these are daffodil bulbs, so I'm going to try to dry these out just like I'm drying out the amaryllis bulbs and some tulip bulbs from way early this spring. I think January or February I had the tulips, and of course in December and January I had the amaryllis. So I'm going to dry these out in a dry, dark, cool place and see if I can bring back some daffodils next spring when I bring back the tulips that I saved back from a very early tulip arrangement. And of course this fall and winter we'll see if the amaryllis worked.